Without a doubt, the best thing about my job is that I get to see the world. But one of the other best things about it is that this camera has allowed me to stay at some of the world's top hotels. And today I want to share with you the 20 best places I have come across in all my travels. Each of these places are in different countries, different price ranges, and just maybe when the world gets back to traveling, this might be your next getaway. With no particular order except saving the best for last, let's get started. The first on our list is actually here in Canada, but like way further north. We're gonna be starting off with Yukon Pines Cabin. This is officially going down in the Guinness World Records as the coziest hotel room on planet Earth. It is a log cabin style room with a fireplace, a heated bathroom, and everything that you need to escape the -30 weather in the harshest of conditions in the winter. And the best thing is, it is in prime condition to see the northern lights. If you've ever dreamed of seeing them, let me tell you, it's 10 times better than you can imagine. And this place right here is one of the best places to see it. I would recommend bringing a playlist of Netflix videos you want to watch and your significant other. It doesn't get any better than that. The next is Cre Eco Resort, and this has to be one of the most challenging to get to places, but it's because it's so hard to get there that this place has remained a absolute aquatic paradise. If you're a scuba diver, a snorkeler, or you just want to be where nobody else is, you have to get out to Raja Ampat, and Cre Eco Resort gives you some overwater bungalows with no AC, just a simple fan, and because there's no restaurants on this island, you are on a food plan, and it just so happens that the food served here is fantastic. But the best part of it all is that you have blue ass water as far as the eye can see, and the marine biodiversity, it is considered to be one of the last aquatic paradises on planet Earth. Enough said. Now the next stop is actually in Bali, which is where I live, and the best thing about it is, while most people think Bali is nothing but tourists, there remains a few regions that are undiscovered, and the Karangasem region hosts one of these hotels by the name of Wapa di Ume. And Wapa di Ume is perfection. It is exactly what I would want. One of the most beautiful and breathtaking views you could ever imagine, overlooking rice terraces, all sorts of local people working just like the Balinese did before tourism boomed. You have volcanoes and mountains surrounding you in this green lush region, and for me, the room, the way it was designed, is just the best. Having our own private little plunge pool, having kind of like a 180-degree view over the rice terraces, it was tough if not impossible to beat, and it wasn't an outrageous price. If this is ringing some bells for you, this could be a great spot for a special occasion. Now we're going to increase our altitude a little bit and come up to a rocky fortress of comfort and tranquility. I feel like that should be their slogan. I'm bringing you to the Anantara Jabal Shams, and this right here is one of the most recent places that we visited. It has such a deep and meaningful connection to me because of not just having amazing food and service and beautiful amenities, but we actually got to go out onto this rock face and climb it. And we got to rappel and zip line through this crazy terrain alongside some extremely brave mountain goats. This is a world-class resort, and if Oman is currently not in your crosshairs for your upcoming travels, I highly recommend you take a closer look at it. I've done a full travel series on it, and you'll see for yourself why this is a hidden gem. If we were to base luxury from 1 to 10, 1 being a broke backpacker's hostel and 10 being, you know, ultimate luxury, then we're going up now to like a 12. We're now going into a level of luxury that I call the Kardashian luxury. We actually got to stay in a room that Kim K stayed in, and we even jumped on that bed. It was kind of cool. This is a $25,000 a night room in the Atlantis in Dubai, a place that's known for over-the-top luxury, and this was no exception. With a 24/7 butler, insane amenities, you had like a 20-person dining room set. This suite had about 8 bedrooms and basically everything you could imagine. The silverware on the dining room table alone was probably worth more than the average person's car. It is another level of opulence, of in-your-face riches. I'm fully aware this is insane luxury, and I only had this opportunity because of this unique job that we have. But I will say that it wasn't actually the $25,000 a night room that so much impressed me as the downstairs room in the underwater suite. And this one is an absolute steal at only $12,000 a night. If I had to base my decision off a single feature in all of the rooms I've ever seen, I think this is the most impressive. To be able to wake up or take a bath with the world's largest aquarium right in front of you to look at sharks and fish go by. For those that can afford it, it's something you won't forget. The Atlantis also has one of the most expensive restaurants in all of Dubai with the underwater Oceana restaurant, but actually the best meal I've ever had was in their steakhouse. So if you want to find a waiter that can literally read your mind and knows exactly what you're going to love, well, you got to go to that steakhouse. Now, contrary to what you may think at this point, you do not need to drop fat stacks of cash to have a good time and to have a world-class experience. This place right here in the Yasawa Islands of Fiji was a hidden gem. We were so lucky to have been able to find the Octopus Island Resort, and this is a place where you have no air conditioning, you have open concept rooms with a fan, and you just feel like you are a part of the island for a few days. There is only one restaurant, and so you're on a set meal plan. The food was so good, all locally caught, all locally grown, and you're surrounded by beautiful mountains, blue water, fish, and so much more. And the best thing was there's hardly anyone else around aside from a few other rooms on the island. So for a not so crazy amount of money, you can have a world-class stay. Now, our next spot is not like the others we've seen so far. Some people love the tropical, others love the flashy hotels, and some of you might find this more in line with what you're looking for. This is a glass igloo in the Alps, and it's called White Pods Hotel, and it's in none other than Switzerland. Now, because it's in Switzerland, it is expensive, as is everything, but let me show you what you get. You get the experience of being here. We had the most incredible fondue, and the cool thing is most of the ingredients are locally sourced. In fact, the wine we were drinking came just from the ridge down below, so we could literally look at the vineyard as we were drinking. The staff working there were so friendly, and they even had a massive Saint Bernard by the name of Flocon. Flocon, if you're watching, I miss you. Whether you go in the winter or the summer, I don't think it makes a huge difference, but we went there while there was snow, and it was such an amazing escape from the cold, especially with our own private sauna. Most of the time, my favorite hotels and resorts are going to be ones that allow you to experience nature. However, this place does not qualify for that, but I'll show you why it's made it into my top 20. This is La Mamounia in Marrakesh, Morocco, and as far as the architecture goes, it is jaw-dropping. You've got the tiny little tiles that are so intricate, decorating the hallways, the pillars, the bedroom. Everything has so much detail. You've got the beautiful Moroccan rugs, you've got a never-ending courtyard of beautiful greenery, and you've got this absolutely magical pool, which no one was even using. Now, this next spot right here was for a long time my favorite resort slash hotel experience I'd ever had, and I'll show you who upstaged it shortly, but this is Soneva in Koh Kud, Thailand. Let me tell you what the resort offers, and I think you'll be able to picture why this was in my top very quickly. First of all, you have a dedicated cheese room that's open 24/7. You've got a chocolate room. You've got a tiny little Hubble telescope that you can actually climb up into and get one of the best views you'll ever see of the stars and the moon. For those of you that add the guacamole, even when it's extra, well, you're in luck because you have your own private runway strip to take a private plane from Bangkok all the way to Koh Kud and get there in less than an hour. There is a treehouse where the platform goes up and down, and as they bring you up into the treehouse, you are greeted by servers who come in on a zip line to bring you your tea. It's getting a little extreme now, but you've probably seen where this is going. This is one of the most high-end resorts in Thailand, if not the most, and it's one of the most unforgettable experiences I've ever had. And not to mention, they give you your own private golf cart when you get there. That is the ultimate flex. If I hadn't just showed you Soneva, you'd probably be jaw-dropped right now when I show you this one, but this is Songsa in Cambodia, and by all means, it is 5-star luxury. It is absolute incredible island escape, but you don't have a dedicated cheese room and you don't get a golf cart, so why bother? That was sarcastic. If you don't know me, I'm joking. I am so grateful to have had this experience to stay here, but one of the funny things is this is definitely an island for couples, for lovers to get away, experience tranquility and love. And I was with 2 other dudes, so I think I did it wrong, but I really loved my stay here. It's time to cool down the temperatures a bit and go to Norway. And this is the island of Lofoten. It is one of my favorite places on planet Earth, and on that island is one of my favorite hotels on planet Earth, and that is Hatvika Lodge. This is actually a repurposed fishing lodge, and the owner had this lodge passed down his family for generations, and then he converted it into this incredible, cozy lodge where we were able to experience the midnight sun, a night that never gets dark, right there in our jacuzzi overlooking the water. It was amazing. And the owner even went as far as cooking for us, giving us some of the local delicacies. This is one of those places where it came down to the location, the amenities, the story, and the owner, and all four of these things came together to make it just a perfect stay. One thing I will add is if you go in the winter, you'll actually get Aurora Borealis, the Northern Lights, and you'll be able to once again watch it from your jacuzzi. But on the other hand, you don't have any daylight because it's pretty much dark 24/7. It's worth it. Okay, the next is one that I pretty much have to read off my phone because it's such a long one. Inca Terra Hacienda Concepcion Hotel. Basically picture Tarzan and Jane, like a British little settlement in the middle of the jungle. That's how it felt for me to be here at this resort. There's almost nothing like it else in the world. It was a true escape, and you could hear the bugs, the birds, the monkeys, all the sounds around you that you've never heard. It was a symphony going on 24/7. We had one of their best rooms. They put us right by the water, and the cool thing is all they have separating you from the outside is a very fine mosquito net, so nothing can get inside, but the smells, the sounds, the everything else can come inside. And I don't think anything will ever rival the nap that I had right here at the foot of the bed, listening to these sounds and feeling like I was a part of Mother Nature, while still of course protected by this mosquito net. Usually I'm not a huge fan of the idea of staying in mega hotels or resorts where there's tons of rooms, but this was one of the exceptions. We stayed at the Xcaret Resort in Mexico, and this was such a unique experience with amazing cuisine, with so much amazing Mexican food, I should add. Oh, some of the best food on planet Earth. And the architecture of this place was really beautiful, inviting, vibrant, and I think this was an amazing place to get away with a family. Because it's all inclusive, if somebody's hungry, you can go take them there. If somebody's complaining, you can go put them in the kids' daycare area. Like, I don't have that situation in my life right now, and fingers crossed it stays that way for a while, but I will say that I could see how this was such an appealing place for family travel, and even Kathy and I, going on a couples retreat, loved it. It also gives you access to all sorts of different Xcaret resorts, from water parks to theme parks. It's definitely more touristy than my usual getaway, but I loved it. What's that? What's that, girl? It's them? You sure? Kia says you haven't hit the like button yet, and I mean, it's a quick and easy fix. In fact, it's free to do. So if you're still watching this, if you haven't left yet, smash that like button. This is a blast to the past. We're getting in the time machine, and I'm taking you back to like 2016. This is the Yandup Sandblast Islands Resort. Yandup is nothing but the bare basics. You've got a completely organic room, basically just up on stilts over the water on your own private island, along with maybe 5 or 6 other units. You've got your local catch of the day being served for lunch and dinner. It makes me feel like I'm living off the land. And the thing is, it wasn't that expensive. And as I've said before, sometimes the simplest accommodations make the experience that much more incredible. And this was definitely the case here. The cool breeze coming in off of the water meant you didn't need things like air condition or even a fan. The next up is a place that has a special place in my heart, and that is Sandat Glamping Resort. This was one of my first ever social collaborations, and it was one of the first times I realized that incredible hotels around the world would be willing to let me stay for free in exchange for Instagram or for YouTube coverage. And by the way, if you've ever dreamed of doing the same, I've got a full 1-hour free training. It's completely free. It's linked down below if you want to find out how to become a content creator. But let's get back to why we're here. This resort right here was one of my favorites because it gave me both things that I love. A side of luxury, but a side of nature, a side of escape. It's basically like a giant tent in the middle of the Balinese jungle, but with luxury amenities like your own plunge pool, an incredible dining experience. You've got a blow dryer if the lady needs to do her hair up. The next on the list is by far the most inexpensive and back to basic as far as all of these resorts and hotels go, and that is Footprints Beach Resort Tablas. And this is a place in the Philippines where, again, it's incredibly simple. The room was nothing special, but what made it special was the experience of being on our own beach with almost nobody else around. To be able to have little puppies roaming around, an incredible swing set with a sunset, getting a $5 a day bike and going and exploring the island and not knowing what was in store. There was so much adventure and escape in this moment, and for only like $15 or maybe $20 a night, it was tough to beat. I really love the island of Tablas, and if you want to check it out, if you're willing to go the extra mile because it's not that easy to get there, then this could be a really awesome budget option for you. I will also mention the instant coffee they served for breakfast was delicious. I loved it. We've got 3 more to cover, including my favorite of all time. So let's keep on with it. Then next on the list is taking us back to the Amazon, and that is Hatvika Lodge. Hatvika Lodge is once again in the Peruvian side of the Amazon rainforest, and although it's not as architecturally incredible as the other Amazonian resort I showed you, this one right here had the incredible food that I could not even explain. They took the unique plants and fruits that grew in the Amazon and brought them together with food that we're all comfortable with. From pastas combined with bananas, from potatoes combined with a local berry you've never heard of. Every single meal was an experience. For me, food can easily make or break a stay at a hotel, and because the food here was so exceptional, I would almost rank this as the best Amazon resort we've stayed at. This is a resort that is not like the others. This is Albate in Sharjah. It's like the brother to Dubai, further up in the north by an hour. Albate is a max luxury hotel. It is top of the line everything. But the cool thing is, on the outside, the exterior and the building itself keeps it very minimalist and very true to its past. But when you look at what's underneath, it's nothing but pure luxury and top of the line finishings and amenities. The detail is out of this world. Every single one of the rooms is outfitted with a $10,000 king-size mattress that is filled with horsehairs. No horses were harmed in the making of these mattresses, but this is actually a Swedish mattress, and because it's built in a UNESCO heritage site, they were not able to widen the door enough to fit the mattresses inside. And so they actually had to fly out a team of like 10 Swedish people from this horsetail hair mattress company, and they had to go inside each of the rooms and assemble them from the inside. So that is the level of detail that's gone into this whole resort, and the food showed it as well. It was an absolute culinary dream. It was mind-blowing in every single capacity. I hope to go back there one day. This is a place that is uncomparable to anywhere else I've stayed, and that's what I'm always looking for when I travel. This is a one-of-a-kind destination. Here we are, the final hotel. While these have not been ranked in order of my favorites by any means, I have, however, saved my favorite hotel, my favorite resort for last, and that goes to Naipalad, an absolutely pristine escape in Siargao, Philippines. I'm looking at you right now. If you have a special event coming up like a honeymoon or that special once-in-a-lifetime experience and you don't mind dropping a bit of money because it's not cheap, this is the place to go. If you imagine yourself being on an island, having the silence of Mother Nature but the luxuries you couldn't even imagine, being able to paddleboard through the mangroves or take a private yacht to some of the incredible nearby islands, going for a surfing lesson and then having a picnic at the beach. Everything you could imagine is there. And the thing that blows me away is actually the food. I think that's probably the most impressive thing of all of this resort because they're working with local ingredients. Everything has to be immediately accessible and fresh. Time and time again, I am undisappointed by the food they bring out, and I've been there 3 times now. I've probably spent a total of 6 or 7 days there, and I know I'm going to go back. I've traveled enough to know when I found something special, when I found something that's one of a kind, and that is what Naipalad is for me. After 5 or 6 years of travel, these have been the 20 hotels that left a lasting impression on me that I will never forget. And now guys, the best part, I get to go back to real life now.
If you're like me and you've dreamed of finding that job that allows you to travel the world, experience new things, and even make a great living doing it, well, there has never been a higher demand for skilled photographers and videographers. So whether you're just starting or well into your journey as a content creator, or you just know there's so much more than the 9 to 5, then check out my 1-hour training. It is linked down below and it's completely free. I'm telling you, 60 minutes might just change your life. Guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and let's get lost again in the next one.